right now. Avinash, a few other names I want to talk to you about. Tata Motors now. Would you buy it here?
Now again, Prashant, I would buy the Tata Motors DVR, that too with a slightly longer term horizon. I think numbers from the Chinese market have not been great, but if you look at the domestic side of the business, I think the management is pretty confident. It's put on record that it expects a stronger CV market in FY16, and clearly I think current price definitely has beaten down quite badly. So I think if one looks at the DVR, I think that would give a better risk reward ratio to investors who buy the stock now. And I think clearly there were a lot of one-offs in the Q4 numbers. So, this is not going to be a repeat performance for Q1. Hopefully, I think, JLR sales also should pick up and the Chinese market should look up. They've put up a lot of new product launches which should be, coming out in the second half of FY16. So, I would definitely be a buyer. I think clearly, from these levels, the risk to the downside looks a bit limited.
The discount though stays, right? I mean, 40% between the DVR and the Tata Motors stock. I mean, that is not narrowed at all.
No, it's not narrowed down, but I think...
I mean, so you maybe be able to buy a lot more of the
Exactly.
DVR
I think, you buy the same company, but, you don't get the voting rights. But that doesn't make a big difference to the return kind of angle.
Okay. Yeah, okay. All right. Banks did very well, I mean, in terms of the bounce back. This morning in the pre-open, the top gainers are Punjab National Bank, Bank of Baroda, ICICI Bank, Yes Bank is higher. IndusInd Bank is higher, State Bank is higher. You think there's any sense there? Any names that you'd like there?
No, I think within the banking space, I think there's a clear differentiation. I think I would still be more comfortable on the private sector banks for the simple reason that, asset quality seems to be in control in such a challenging macro scenario. More importantly, the PSU banks, I think one would be little skeptical if at all the monsoon does not turn out to be good. I think these would be the first victims where the government would probably try to give some concessional loans to the farmer community. So clearly better to wait and watch here. I think the larger banks like an SBI, PNB, these are banks which possibly could show a big kind of asset quality kind of bubble, in the next 2 quarters. So clearly I would stay away from the PSU banks. I think private sector banks, HDFC Bank or maybe an Axis or even a Federal Bank, these are banks which I would say that would definitely sail through strongly, once the macro picture improves.
The big bargains, of course, you find in PSU banks, but as they say, sometimes, things are cheap for a reason. And I'm talking about the public banks. I mean, private sector bank, ICICI Bank high was 400, stocks at 300 right now. Yes Bank, I think got to about, I'm talking about the high, by the way, it was about 900, stocks at 840. IndusInd Bank was 900.